Hi all. Today I want to talk a little bit about boondocking, just getting started in boondocking. What do you call it? Boondock 101. I've been watching some videos and people that are just getting started, don't have the experience and didn't do any practicing. They're not sure, how to do things, what's going on. So I watched this person bought a brand new trailer, brand new truck, and just took off. And probably moved right out of her sticks and bricks and moved right into the RV. Well, I guess the first night or so, they ran out of propane, and they didn't have any heat. So that was pretty upsetting to her, and I don't know what to say about that. But let's put it this way. Let's say you want to go on a little family trip in your car, and you say you want to go 100 miles, maybe over to the next town, or maybe to the weekend camp trip. Well, so what do? You just jump in your car and you take off and hope for the best. That's not the way you do it. You run out of gas that way. Well, you're going to run out of propane that way too if you don't check. Most people will look at their fuel gauge and stop and get gas, and at least fill it up. To make sure you got enough fuel to get there and back. So if you run out of propane. You always run out of propane in the middle of the night too. Never in the daytime. So the thing to do with that is make sure that you check your tanks before you go to bed. You wake up 3 o'clock and it's cold. Not much you can do about it. I always keep a spare. I always have at least one spare at the very least. Full tanks, and I don't let them get down. I fill them before they run out. I mean, that's what you do. Kind of like you drive in your car and you just keep driving until you run out of gas, and then you walk to the gas station to get some more gasoline. That's not the way you do it. So yeah, it's the same in boondocking. You have to be prepared. The best thing to do is do a little practice to make sure that you do have somewhat of an idea of what's going to happen when you get out there. Running out of heat is, not the best thing in the world. Of course, unless you're in a big RV park where you can just plug in, like you do at your house. It's your sticks and bricks. If you get cold, you just go and turn the heater on. Don't think about anything else. Boondocks, is a whole different world, different story. And you need to check to make sure that you have enough, to get through the night at the very least. Check out places. Google has lots of places. You can search propane along your route where you're going. Granted, some of them aren't up to date, but if I know that I'm going to, just for instance, say I'm going to go across Nevada from west to east, and I didn't research to see if there's any propane along the way. Well, maybe there was one, maybe two. Well, they don't always have propane up there. Just because they say they do, doesn't mean they do. So the thing is you start your trip with enough propane so you don't run out. A little bit about propane heaters. There's some people say, oh, you shouldn't have a Mr. But heater. They're dangerous. You can die because of the carbon monoxide, and you shouldn't be using one of those. You should use electric heaters. Well, that's fine if you have shore power where you plug in, or you have a generator that can handle that kind of stuff. Generators use a lot of gas, and to use them just for heat, doesn't make any sense to me. So, get yourself an O2 sensor, carbon monoxide sensor, and you check those. I've checked mine many times. It puts out 0 carbon monoxide. I've watched a video, I guess it was yesterday as well, where the guy did a full test on it, put it in his bathroom, sealed everything up, sealed the door, and put his O2 sensor in there and let it run. And a little while later, well, he went in to check it, and it was off. It had turned itself off because it ran out of oxygen. But there was still no O2 registering on the pickup. So, and like I said, I've tested mine. I put it above it, and I put it beside it, put it in front of it, done all that stuff, and it never has any measurable O2 at all. I mean, it still says 0. But some people will use their stove, their propane stove. Well, my advice is put your O2 sensor by that and see what happens. It's an open flame. That's all it is. It's just a plain open flame, and you can't use I guess you can for an emergency if you had to, but you have to open all your windows and all that kind of stuff. So you're trying to heat cold air that's coming in from the outside. Man, that didn't make any sense to me either. The little buddy, well, I guess they call it Mr. Buddy. In my camper, it works very well. I've been in the mountains, as low as 20 degrees, and it'll keep it nice and toasty in there. It doesn't use a whole lot of propane. It does use some, so you have to keep an eye on that kind of stuff. Like I keep saying, the big buddy. Boy, that thing, I put it in the shed, and yeah, it kept it nice and warm in here, and I was out of propane in no time flat. So, you have to measure that. How cold is it, and how much propane have you got? So, I don't run mine at night, not because I'm afraid of it, but, I'll shut it off, and then when I go to bed, get it warmer enough in there, and then shut it off, and then go to bed. I cover up. I got blankets that I use to cover up with, and I stay warm all night. If it starts to get cold, put another blanket on. I've got a 0 to 20 degree sleeping bag that works very well, and sometimes I'll get a little cold. I have to throw a blanket on top. So, I don't. Like I said, I don't use mine at night. So, not because I'm afraid of it, like I said, but because I don't want to waste the propane. So, I guess that's it. I'll talk to you later.